Hiya, Curly. What's up, my friends? It's your boy, Zach.
I'm Alex.
The other day, we lost a very important person in the music world, and a very important person to Alex and myself, and that was Mr. Ace Frehley, the guy on this record right here. Now, Ace was a huge influence to me personally. He was the reason I picked up a guitar in the first place. So, as you would imagine, I was crying like a little baby when I found the news out. And took me a couple days to be able to get up the courage to make this video because I was pretty bummed. But here we are, and we wanted to make a tribute to Ace, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to rank all of the KISS studio albums that feature Ace. And we thought that would be kind of cool, kind of honor his legacy that way, and kind of share some of our favorite songs that Ace featured on and go from there.
Just to touch on that a little bit, KISS put both of us on a trajectory that we would not have been on if we weren't exposed to KISS at such a young age. We wouldn't probably be collectors if we didn't get into KISS. Like that, I know I can speak for both of us.
Yeah.
That was our first love. The first music I ever remember hearing is KISS. I mean, these guys were superheroes to me. I legitimately thought that they were superheroes when I was a kid. To see a legend, which is such an understatement, but a absolute legend pass away is heartbreaking, and it honestly is one of the most heartbreaking losses that I think we've experienced. So.
Yeah, and this year has been terrible for losses. I mean, you guys are probably getting sick of these videos by now, right? We had to release an Ozzy one, the Brent Hines from Mastodon one, and now my biggest hero in the entire world. And just to touch on what Alex said, I remember the first time I saw the picture of this guy. Our parents are huge KISS fans, our dad specifically. And I'll never forget when he showed me KISS. I had to have been about 2 or 3 years old, and he showed me those guys, and I automatically gravitated towards Ace. I saw his makeup, and I'm like, man, that is the coolest guy in the world. And my favorite color was blue, and his favorite color is blue. And it was one of those things where it's like, dude, I want to be this guy when I grow up. This is who I want to be. And I've been obsessed with him ever since. I've annoyed the crap out of our parents, out of Alex, playing the same songs, playing Rocket Ride all the time by KISS. That was one of my favorite songs. One of my earliest memories, too, was I remember I had this little Fisher-Price cassette player, and I had my dad burn Rocket Ride onto a little cassette.
I remember that.
I played the crap out of that cassette. And it was just Rocket Ride. There was no other songs on it. It was just Rocket Ride. And I played it all the time. And I remember one time our grandparents had came over. I don't know if you remember this.
I do, yeah.
And I came upstairs just blasting that song. And not knowing the meaning behind Rocket Ride, it was a sexual innuendo. So I'm blasting this song.
I never really realized that until now.
Oh,
but
man.
I shouldn't be surprised considering KISS.
My parents pushed me out of the room immediately. They told me to get out of there so that way I wasn't playing that song. So my grandma and grandpa couldn't hear that.
I'm hearing the lyrics in my head right now differently for the first
Oh
time.
yeah.
I haven't thought about that in years.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I was a kid, I didn't know. And then I found that out later in life. And I listened to the song, and I'm like, oh, crap. Yeah, you know what? Now I understand. I understand why Dad didn't want me blasting this to Grandma and Grandpa here.
Yeah. No, I do remember that, though. That's funny.
Good times. Yeah. So, like I said, we wanted to honor his legacy by ranking all the studio albums that Ace featured on. So, couple stipulations. Stipulation number 1, this is just studio albums. Alive 2, those albums don't count because that's basically a greatest hits. I know most of it was recorded in studio, but they were pulled from live tracks and recorded on top of, and it's basically a greatest hits. So automatically that would become the best album because it's their best hits. So that isn't really fair. So we wanted to rank the studio albums. And then this is just strictly albums that Ace Frehley is featured on. Creatures of the Night doesn't count. He's on the cover, not on the album.
Let's do it.
Perfect. All right, starting us off, we got KISS, the very first album. Now, real quick, in our ranking list, what we're going to do is we're going to go through each album in order and then rank them on our list. And there was 10 studio albums that Ace featured on.
Yes. I'm going to take the lead on this one. This is number 1 for me. This album, if I'm throwing a KISS album on the turntable, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be this guy. Strutter, Deuce, Firehouse, Black Diamond, 100,000 Years.
Nothing but bangers.
Literally, though.
Dude,
quite literally.
100,000 Years is one of KISS's most underrated, greatest songs of all time, in my opinion.
Cold Gin.
Cold Gin! Ace Frehley himself wrote Cold Gin. And on those early records, Ace didn't want to sing them. So that song, Gene sang vocals on.
Yeah. What more needs to be said? This album is as classic as it gets. I know there's a stereotype in a lot of the times with bands. People will say their first album is their favorite, but this legitimately is my favorite KISS album. There's even the bad songs I'll take over some of the good songs off some of their albums. Like, this is damn near front to back perfect record. I know a lot of people shit on the album cover. I guess I've seen other photos from the photo shoot. There's a lot of times people say, oh, this photo should have been taken. What an iconic album cover. And I know people shit on Peter's makeup. I actually dig that look. Like, I've always, like, when I would see t-shirts with this album cover on it, I was always drawn to it because, I don't know, something about it being a timestamp in time where, like, I don't know, but I always dug it. So yeah, just need to throw that out there.
It's an iconic cover. I mean, at this point, like, I see this, it's so recognizable. And the other thing, too, with Peter Criss's makeup, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure for that photo shoot, he had a professional makeup artist do his makeup for him, and he was the only one who did it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it looked a little weird to everybody. But yeah, kind of like Alex said, like, yeah, maybe it's not the greatest. Like, I think Peter's later makeup, so like Dynasty era, when he started putting the green around the eyes, that looked the best.
I agree.
But I, like, have grown to love this makeup a lot, and I think it looks pretty good. This album, fantastic. Honestly, it's absolutely perfect. The only turd on this album, in my personal opinion, is Kissin' Time, and they didn't even want to put that on the album. The record label made them put it on there. So I think they had like a contest going on for that, if I remember correctly. It was like the longest couple that kissed for whatever, won tickets or something. I don't even remember. Look it up. You'll see it.
My all-time favorite KISS song is Black Diamond.
Oh.
That's on this record.
So good.
Deuce is a close second.
Dude.
That's on this record. Like, I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, Black Diamond, the guitar solo in that, Ace's solo, and the outro solo. Oh, man. And Peter's vocals. See, one cool thing about KISS 2 is all 4 members sing in the band, and honestly, I love all 4 of their vocal styles.
Yeah.
Each of them bring a little bit something different to the table, and it is very unique, and like, it's very KISS. Like, you can tell instantly. And I love Peter Criss's vocals.
Oh,
very underrated. I love the rasp that he has in there.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah. Peter was always my personal favorite vocalist in KISS. He might not be the best on paper, but he always had my favorite vocals in the band. And yeah, so for me, this lands at number 1. That was an easy choice for me. I knew going into ranking these that this was going to be number 1.
For my list, I put this at number 2. My top 3 were the hardest decisions I had to make because they were, all 3 of them, I think, are perfect albums. I had to put this at number 2. Yeah, like I said, it's perfect. I love everything about it. Shout out to Nothing to Lose. That's one of my favorite songs on this record, too.
Yeah, great song.
Another sexual innuendo song.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alex, any other closing thoughts on KISS?
What a phenomenal, monumental debut album.
All right. Album number 2, Hotter Than Hell. This album is another perfect album, in my opinion. I love this album so much. The songs are so good. The only problem with this album is the quality kind of sucks a little bit. The recording is not all that great. But that being said, these songs are amazing. You got Parasite, written by Ace Frehley. Strange Ways, another amazing song. Got to Choose is on this album. The title track, Hotter Than Hell, so good. And then you got a monstrous song by Peter Criss, Mainline, or at least he sings it. I don't know if he wrote it. That's another good song. I love that song too. And then an underrated song on this album, Watching You. I absolutely love that song.
Yeah.
Anytime it plays, it's unskippable. It's such a banger. It pumps me up. I love this album so much.
I really like this album. Strange Ways, to me, is the best track off the album.
I agree.
Hands down.
Strange Ways and Parasite are my two favorites on the album.
Parasite, amazing song. Love Watching You. The rest, not my favorite. The mix is not great. The title track, Hotter Than Hell, other than that middle bridge section, never really cared for that song.
What?
I'm
really?
gonna be honest.
Oh, I guess I never realized that.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Rip and Destroy.
Yeah, that's what I always think of.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. That's pretty much my closing thoughts on it. I
Really?
don't have, yeah, I hate to say it, but this fell at number 7 for me.
Really?
Out of
10. Wow.
Yeah.
I put this one at number 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my top 3 albums, honestly, all 3 of them can interchange. There's some days where Hotter Than Hell is my favorite. There's some days where the self-titled album is my favorite. And then there's other days where the other one that we haven't talked about yet is my favorite. And honestly, all 3 of these are perfect albums in my book.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy most KISS albums. This just didn't fall near the top of my list. So.
And talk about another iconic cover.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I always love the artwork for this album.
Very
I will
vibrant,
say that,
very cool, very cool. Hotter Than Hell is number 3 on my list.
And number 7 on mine.
All right, next up on the list, album number 3, we got Dressed to Kill. Alex, you want to take the reins on this one?
I love this album, honestly. I mean, Rock Bottom is my favorite song off this album. You've got the original, the studio version, which isn't as popular as the live version of Rock and Roll All Night.
I'd say even the live version of Rock Bottom is more...
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that intro it's like, dude, come on already.
It's a beautiful...
Great song,
It's beautiful intro, but it kind of just goes a little bit.
Yeah. Iconic, again, and this is going to be... Well, you can probably say this for any KISS album at this point. Iconic cover. I was very drawn to this photo when I was a kid. I thought them in the suits with the makeup was so badass. This fell at number 5 for me. You know, it hit the middle of the list. It's definitely not my favorite, but I do thoroughly enjoy this album. Zach, what do you have to say?
So another banger song on here, She. Absolutely love
that
that's
song. One of my favorite KISS songs.
So good, so good. So for me, this actually is not one of my favorite KISS records. I want to like it more because there's a lot of iconic songs on here. The thing is, though, the studio versions of Rock and Roll All Night and Rock Bottom, I love the live versions so much more to the point where when I listen to these, I don't really want to listen to them. I listen to Rock Bottom because I do love the studio version, but the live version is just so much better. And the guitar solo on Rock and Roll All Night on Alive is just so iconic.
100%.
When you don't
Anybody will say that.
When you don't have that guitar solo on the song, it's just not. Fun little story about that. When I was a little kid, I was so annoyed because I felt like I always heard the Alive version of Rock and Roll All Night. And I'm like, why do I never hear the studio version? Like, what the heck? And then I listened to the studio version, and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I understand. Now I understand why I'm only listening to Alive. But, I mean, dude, Paul Stanley's call-outs in...
Yeah, I know. I'm always doing this ad-libs, like when I... What? I do that one all the time.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. But that being said, this is actually one of my least favorite KISS albums, and I actually put this at number 8 on my list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's hard because, like, there was just other ones that I loved so much better. And I want to like this one more, but unfortunately, to me, there was only, I think, 5 tracks that I loved on this. And, like, maybe a couple tracks that were okay. Or 4 tracks that I loved, somewhere around there. But, yeah, overall, this one just, it doesn't really do it for me. That being said, there's iconic songs on there, and they're fantastic. But All right, next up we got Destroyer, everybody's favorite KISS album.
Yeah.
Everybody except us.
No, for real.
Here's the thing, iconic cover. You see a pattern here? Here's the thing about Destroyer. All right, there are great songs. Some of the best KISS songs are on this record. Detroit Rock City, one of the greatest KISS songs, if not the greatest of all time. Yeah. That iconic guitar solo. And there's that famous story where Bob Ezrin sang the guitar solo to Ace Frehley, and then Ace recorded it. And it is
when I first heard the harmony between Paul and Ace, dude, like, that gives me chills. Even when I still hear it, I get goosebumps when I hear that part.
It just goes to show, it's a perfect example that solos don't always need to be people shredding on a guitar or ripping on a guitar. Sometimes the most memorable and the most melodic are make the most iconic guitar solos, and that's the perfect example.
Ace is a perfect example of that in general.
And that's why I love him so much. That's why he's my favorite guitarist in the whole world.
Forever prefer being able to hum a guitar solo that sticks in your head than just listen to someone like shred like for days. Like, I'm impressed by that. I could never do that, but those solos,
I can't either. I'm not a very good guitarist, to be honest with you. Yeah, so this record, it has some good songs on here, and I know some of the songs that I like, I already know that Alex doesn't like, because this is one of those albums that Alex and I have been talking about since we were little kids. You know, I love King of the Nighttime World. I love Flaming Youth. Sweet Pain is okay. It's not my favorite song in the world, but it's all right. You got Shout It Out Loud. That's an iconic song. That's another really good one. Beth is on this one. Never been a huge Beth fan, honestly.
Sorry, Peter. Love you to death, but sorry, man.
I love the unplugged version of Beth. It's so good. So good. And one of the things that you'll see, there's a common theme here with some of these songs. The live versions are so much better. And that just goes to show for God of Thunder as well. I didn't really care for God of Thunder when we were little. And then I heard the Alive 2 version. And Alex knows this because I rant and rave about that version all the time. It's so good. It's so much heavier. And I love the distortion that they put on Gene's vocals in the after the like solo section. And it may be a little bit cheesy, but to me, I just think it sounds so cool. And it made me kind of appreciate the song a little bit more. It's kind of funny though too, because, you know, not too long ago, maybe a few years back, 5 years ago or so, they released the demo of God of Thunder.
I was gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Why don't you take the reins on that?
When I first heard the Paul Stanley demo of God of Thunder, I nearly my pants. It is so much better. I never cared for God of Thunder at all. I know, Zach, you said you love the Alive 2 version. It is cool. Shout out to Gene Simmons. I mean, it fits his persona. I understand where they're coming from by making that his song, slowing it down, making it heavier. But oh my God, that demo is so good. Hearing it, when I hear God of Thunder, obviously now it's synonymous as like being a KISS song, but it doesn't sound like a KISS song to me. When I heard that demo, I was like, this is a KISS song. The energy, the speed, Paul's vocals on it, granted, like it wasn't shined and polished. That demo version, if that was on this record, oh my God.
I didn't realize it until later. I don't like the drums on that track. The percussion on that track is not very good in my opinion. There's like a little drum break in between, like right before the solo, and it like sounds off time and it doesn't sound good. Like it's kind of like weird. There's like a weird thing going on and I just don't really care for it. Another thing too, and I know this is sacrilegious to say, I'm not the biggest Bob Ezrin fan as a producer. Yes, this album is very polished, but like with KISS, I like the rawness to it, and I think that's one of the reasons that I love the first two albums so much, because they're so raw, and he's just got a very like poppy sensibility when it comes to recording. And not that that's a bad thing, but I don't know. For me, this record just was never on the top of my list.
Yeah.
The only reason it would be is because of the standout tracks like Detroit Rock City.
I mean, I believe Destroyer is the first CD by KISS I ever owned. My dad gave it to me. if it wasn't for Detroit Rock City, this album probably would be at the bottom of the list for me. Detroit Rock City carries the hell out of this album. It is such a great track that I'm willing to ignore. Zach touched on some of the other songs he really liked. I never cared for Flaming Youth. I never cared for Sweet Pain. Great Expectations creeps me out.
Yeah, Great Expectations is awful. Sorry, Mom. Mom loves Great Expectations.
Yeah, shout out to Mom. Shout it out loud. Great song. Beth, I'm sorry, Peter. I love you to death. I'd be okay if I never heard that song ever again. As far as though what this album did for KISS by putting them on a map and having Beth push them into that stratosphere of like next level.
Yep.
I understand all of that. And that's why with all that being said, this fell at number 6 for me.
Yeah, this made it to number 7 for me. Yeah, this was just above Dress to Kill for me. Both have iconic songs on them, but they just didn't quite do it for me as an album overall. All right, next up on the list, we got Rock and Roll Over. This is one of the coolest KISS covers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I always loved this cover. I always wanted to get a tattoo of it when I was a little kid because I just thought it just looked so cool.
Iconic. This captures that superhero vibe I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
This is a phenomenal record. There's so many great tracks on this album. I Want You is one of my all-time favorite KISS songs. Great song. You got Calling Dr. Love.
Oh, that guitar solo in Calling Dr. Love.
Mr. Speed. Hard Luck Woman.
Oh, man.
Great tracks on this album. Phenomenal album. This fell at number 4 for me.
Okay.
I have it that high. This
That's
is
totally
a
fair.
Great album. So it's right above Dress to Kill for me. Zach, go ahead.
So this is hard. My top 6 were the hardest ones for me to place. I love those 6 albums that I have there so much. And this was very, very hard for me to place. I did end up putting it at number 6 on my list.
Okay.
Just because the other 5 I liked for various reasons a little bit more than this. That being said, I absolutely love this album. I think the only reason that this maybe didn't make it to number 1 is because it's got a couple of skippable tracks on it for me. Not to say that I wouldn't skip them when I'm listening to the album as a whole, because a lot of times I like to just put on an album and just listen to it anyway, because I feel like that's how music should be listened to most of the time. But yeah, this ended up being number 6 on my list. All right, next up we got Love Gun. I'm going to take the reins on this one because I absolutely love this album. This album is so damn good. It's got the good tracks on this album. No, scratch that. The great tracks, the amazing tracks on this album push this album to a limit beyond its expectations. And you got Love Gun, I Stole Your Love, common theme here. One of my favorite guitar solos of all time. It's so good. And then on top of that, we got the vocal debut of Ace Frehley himself in Shock Me. Oh, my favorite KISS song of all time, other than Rocket Ride, of course. But goddamn, I absolutely love Shock Me. Honestly, this album itself, I would have put it in number 1 just for Shock Me itself. But that being said, when I had to assess all of the albums, I had to kind of think about the albums as a whole and what I like about each album and skippable tracks. And there's a couple of turds on this album. I put this album at number 4. But that being said, this is still one of my favorite KISS albums of all time.
This landed at number 3 for me. I Stole Your Love it's my favorite track off the album and one of the greatest KISS tracks of all time.
Hey, shout out to the scene in Detroit Rock.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah. Great album. Zach, you pretty much touched on everything I was going to say. Number 3 for me. I love this album. Even though there are some skippable tracks, I'm okay with throwing it on the turntable and listening to it all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with that too. I still put it on anyway, because like I said with the previous album, I believe a lot of albums need to be listened to in their entirety. And to me, the greatest songs that are on this record are worth sitting through the skippable tracks for. And again, this cover right here,
probably the most iconic Kiss album.
If Rock and Roll Over isn't my favorite cover, this one is.
I think this one is.
It's so good. All right, next up, we got Dynasty. Alex, I'm going to let you take the reins on this one because I could rant on this album forever.
Yeah. Phenomenal album. Best Kiss outfits, in my opinion. I know this is considered the beginning of the drop-off for Kiss. This was during that period of time where people were falling off. Kiss was kind of becoming a joke, I feel like, to music fans, rock fans, and even to Kiss fans. I love this album. This, if I'm not grabbing the self-titled Kiss album to throw on the turntable, this is my next choice. I love this album. Sure Know Something. I know you can talk about that. 2000 Man. You got I Was Made for Loving You. Phenomenal track.
Here's the thing. I want to say something quick about I Was Made for Loving You. Obviously, this is Gene Simmons' least favorite song. He's gone on record to say that multiple times.
Badass bass line.
Yeah, the bass line, everything about it is super good. And here's the thing. Here's the argument towards I Was Made for Loving You. Yes, it's a disco song. And that's why a lot of people don't like it, because it was so different. But here's the thing. It's got fantastic groove. The melody is phenomenal. And Ace's blues licks in the solo and that little lick before the do-do-do part. Oh,
yeah. I love the do-do-doos.
Dude, me too. It's so good. I don't care what anybody says. That song is a banger of a track.
No, 100%. I love Dirty Livin'. I think that's a great track. Like, honestly, this fell at number 2 for me.
Yes, that's a great placement for it.
Love everything about this album. I love that era of the band. Everything associated with it. Iconic album cover. I'm gonna keep saying it. You get the Tom Snyder interview from that era. I know a lot of people look back and cringe at that.
I love it.
Understand why, but honestly, it's just Ace living his best life.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's awesome. Since Ace's passing, I probably rewatched that interview probably 10 times.
I think Gene is the most cringiest in that interview.
Yep, absolutely. I love he's like hitting Peter on the arm, and then Peter like calls him out for it too. It's like, come on, man.
This fell at number 2 for me. Zach, what do you have to say?
Everything Alex said and more. One of my other favorite tracks, so Sure Know Something, 2000 Man. One of my all-time favorite tracks on this album is Magic Touch. There's something about that song. I absolutely love it. I love every song on this album. My least favorite song, which I still love, is X-Ray Eyes. But honestly, the whole album, every song is absolutely phenomenal. And you got a lot more Ace Frehley writing on this album, too. Yeah. And a lot more Ace singing songs, too. Because he has Hard Times, which is on here, too. That's another great song. And another thing that I read a while back, I had heard, so this was around the time when Gene was trying to make it as like a movie star, kind of. And he was trying to focus more on his acting career. And Paul and Ace did most of the bass recording on this record because Gene wasn't really there for the recording sessions. Just kind of like, I think he really only featured on maybe a couple songs outside of the songs that he's featured on vocals for, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, this album is amazing. One of the Gene tracks that are standout, Charisma, kind of a cringy song, but I love that song so much. It's so good. It's so good. This album made it to number 1 for me. This is my favorite album. And the funny thing is our number 1 and 2s are flip-flops.
Yeah.
And this, again, like I said earlier, my 1, 2, and 3, honestly, all 3 of those are kind of a revolving door. There's days where Kiss is my favorite. There's days where Hotter Than Hell is my favorite. And most days, Dynasty is my favorite. There's just something about this record that it just kind of stands above the rest, in my opinion. And I love this record so much. I could go on forever talking about this because it's just so damn good. So the next album on our list is Unmasked. I guess I'll just go first on Unmasked. It's the worst one out of the 10. Yeah, it's number 10 on my list.
Same.
I never really cared for this. Even so, Ace's pretty prominent on this record. He's got Torpedo Girl.
Torpedo Girl. Yeah.
Two Sides of the Coin. Those as Ace tracks, they never really stood out to me as much. They weren't my favorite Ace tracks. And you got Shandy. I still don't know how I feel about that song.
That's one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, like if it's playing, I'll listen to it.
But I won't even give it that.
I don't usually go searching it out.
I would pay money to never hear that song ever again.
Really? Yeah. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, just Unmasked wasn't very good. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Peter recorded any of the drums on Unmasked.
No, he did not.
So, yeah, he had to learn the drums for the music video for Shandy.
And I think that was the last thing he did for KISS.
Yeah, because then he left.
He left after the video shoot and didn't come back till, obviously, they reunited.
Yeah, because obviously on the next record, that's when our boy Eric Carr ended up joining the group. But, yeah, nothing else needs to be said for Unmasked.
This is the only album that we are going to discuss today that is absolutely despicable to me. I would be okay if it never was created.
Next album we got Music from the Elder, the infamous KISS record, the one that everybody either loves or everybody hates. There is no in between with this record. And Alex, you want to kind of say your thoughts on it?
Not a great album. A World Without Heroes, great song.
So A World Without Heroes. I never liked that song. I absolutely hated that song until I heard the unplugged version.
That's what I was going to say.
I listened to that unplugged version, and that unplugged album is one of my favorite live records of all time. It's so good. I listen to it all the time. And it gave me an appreciation for that song. I appreciate it a lot more. I can still listen to it, but I like the MTV Unplugged version so much better.
Yeah, not a great album. It gets a bad rap for an album, worse than what the album is. I don't nearly dislike it as much as I do Unmasked. It's listenable, but I would just rather not. It's at number 9.
With Music from the Elder, I like the album. I do like the album. It's very weird, and obviously it's a concept album. They were doing different things. It was supposed to be made for a movie that was supposed to be made, and then the movie never got made, and yada, yada, yada. It's very bizarre. There are some pretty standout tracks on here. The Oath.
Yeah.
That's a really heavy riff. It's really good. I love that song. Escape from the Island. It's an instrumental. Ace Frehley shines on that one. I love that song a lot. It's got a cool riff in there. I absolutely love that. I was one of everybody's favorite. Well, I shouldn't say one of everybody's favorites. That was one of the more standout tracks to a lot of people. I like that song, but it's not my favorite from the record. Just a Boy is such a weird song, but I can't help but want to listen to it when it's playing.
Oh man.
I don't know why. There's just something about it that I just kind of want to listen to. I put this at number 9 on my list also. Yeah.
There you go.
Out of the Ace Frehley records, it's the other ones are so much better.
Yeah. Not much more needs to be said.
Called Dark Light, I think, is on this one too. An Ace Frehley track. That's a good song. That's probably the best song on the album other than The Oath, in my opinion. All right, and last but not least, album number 10, Psycho Circus. Alex, do you want to start us off on Psycho Circus?
Yeah. I have great memories of listening to that album when we were kids. The song Psycho Circus. Absolute banger.
Remember that music video? Around the time that came out, 3D was getting big. And you could buy a version of the CD with 3D glasses, and you'd watch the music video, and it was supposed to pop out at you. You can tell now when you watch the music video because they'll be Ace will be putting his guitar up to the camera, and then Paul be reaching out or whatever. It's very cheesy, but at the time it was to promote the whole 3D situation. But all in all, that being said, oh god dang, that track is awesome.
Outside of that track, Into the Void, shout out Ace, great track. I believe it is the only track that Peter records drums on. You wanted the best, great song. Shout out to Dreamin'.
Oh yeah.
Phenomenal song.
Oh.
Is that the song they got hit with the copyright for? Because the bass line sounds like I'm 18.
Oh, did they?
By Alice
I'm not
Cooper.
sure about that.
Dreamin' is a phenomenal
Oh,
song.
it's so good. Dude, Paul Stanley's vocals on this record,
Yeah.
peak Paul Stanley vocals in my opinion, is really good. Between this time and like the late 90s, Paul Stanley's vocals were just, God, some of the best vocals of all time.
You know, I do appreciate this album. It did fall at number 8 for me. There's just not as many strong songs on it. And then later finding out kind of the turmoil, everyone was at the time believed that, oh, all 4 KISS members, original KISS members, are performing on the entire record. We know now that's not the case. It doesn't have as many standout tracks on the album. I do still enjoy the album, but it had to fall at number 8 for me. I do enjoy the era of when this was coming out. I remember our dad talking about going to see them on this tour and how they had the 3D glasses for like the Jumbotrons.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess like half the time it didn't work because, like Zach was saying, 3D was the big thing at the time.
Yeah, I love this record. I absolutely love this record. I'll never forget the time when this album was released, because when Alex and I were kids, we were so bummed because so my favorite member of KISS is Ace, and Alex's favorite member was Peter. And obviously we're younger, so when we were born, Ace and Peter were already out of the band.
Yes.
And they had been out of the band. So to hear that our favorite band was reuniting and our favorite members were coming back to the band, for me, I was so stoked that the band was like back together and creating a new album. And I love so many tracks on this album. Psycho Circus, amazing. Into the Void is my 3rd favorite KISS song of all time. And I'm not just being biased because it's an Ace track. I love that song.
It's true.
It's-
He does.
Oh, it's so good. Dude, Dreamin', like Alex said. I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll. Another great song. Within, Gene vocals, so good. You Wanted the Best. That track is so cool because all 4 KISS members are singing on that track. And each one had a verse. And I just remember being a kid and I'm just like, man, this is the coolest thing in the world right here. Oh, so good. I didn't know, though, until later that Ace and Peter were barely on the record.
Yeah.
And then it really bummed me out because honestly, I probably could have put this a lot higher on my list if had that been the case. All in all, though, the songs on the record are really, really good. There's only just a couple songs on there I really don't like. I Finally Found My Way to You, Journey of 1,000 Years. That one never really did it for me either. I just wasn't the biggest fan of that. I put this album at number 5 on my list.
Okay.
Like I said, I remember when this record was released. I remember that Christmas, our dad had gotten a Psycho Circus magnet. It was a refrigerator magnet.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, man. He'll never let me live it down. I opened it from the package. I didn't understand collecting at the time. Being a kid, I wasn't the greatest when it came to collectibles. Yeah, I broke my dad's Hot in the Shade sunglasses. Sorry, Dad. My bad. I feel bad about that. But I opened this because I thought he wanted to put it on a refrigerator. It was a huge magnet, and he lost it on me. Oh, man. But yeah, I put this at number 5. I really love this album. I wish Ace and Peter played a little bit more on it, but it is what it is. Eventually, it led to them leaving. Another couple things I want to talk about with Psycho Circus. I remember comic books, the Todd McFarlane comic books that were coming out with Greg Capullo's art and Todd McFarlane's art on them. So good. And then there was the game for the computer.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
KISS Psycho Circus, The Nightmare Child. Oh man, Alex and I played the shit out of that game.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, it was so good. It was so hard though. I remember it being like really, really hard.
Yeah,
it was super weird.
it would be. I would be curious to like boot it up and
try it
now
again
as an adult.
Probably won't work on any of our computers. It probably doesn't have the right capacity or whatever. But yeah, that game was so good. I have so many memories playing that game.
And obviously there's a joke in the KISS collectors world, like the Spencer's crap era of KISS.
Yeah, I got some of the, I don't know if you guys can see in the video, but I got the KISS slippers over there. I got the Ace Frehley slippers. KissOnline.com.
I actually love the era of merchandise that came out during that time.
Dude, remember those action figures that came out at that time?
Yes.
Ooh.
I still have the gigantic, you have two, I have two of the gigantic KISS figures that are on the stands that sing the songs.
Oh, yeah. Those were sold at Spencer's, yeah. Oh, dude, those were so cool.
I love the busts that came out around that era. I don't own them, but I remember seeing them all the time. I actually really loved that era of merchandise. I know it's not as collectible or seen as collectible by especially the real big true like KISS collectors, but yeah, I mean, growing up, going to Spencer's when all that stuff was coming out, it was just such a great era of the band for me personally, and obviously childhood ties. I was born in '97, so this is the era of KISS I grew up with.
All right, my friends, that about does it for the top 10 ranking videos. And Alex and I just wanted to kind of give you guys some closing thoughts that we had here with Ace and then KISS in general and the impact that they put in our lives here. I was fortunate enough to see the reunion show when I was a little kid. Alex was 1 year old. It happened, I believe, in '98, if I'm not mistaken, is when I saw them. And we had to drop off Alex at my grandparents' house. And my mom and dad took me to see KISS. And I saw Ace and Peter live. And I am so fortunate that I was able to see that. Now, I was pretty young. I was like 4 or 5 years old. But I remember like bits and pieces of the show. I just don't remember all of it as a whole. One thing that I do remember, one of the things that I got from the concert, I got this like lenticular like Peter Criss thing where it had like a picture of Peter and then it had like a like live picture of Peter like playing drums or whatever. I wanted the Ace one so bad, but of course Ace was sold out because mom, dad, and I went there after the show was already over. So, you know, a lot of the good merchandise was gone at that point. But I picked the next best one, in my opinion, which was Peter. And I still have that thing to this day. I treasure it very much because that was one of my first couple like KISS memorabilia things I had. And then I remember picking out for Alex as a kid, got this tin poster,
metal sign of the images off each 4 of the solo albums.
Yeah, it looked really, really cool. Obviously, Alex was a baby, so he couldn't really appreciate it, but I think probably...
I do have it now, and I do appreciate it. I
did
get you the lenticular Ace Frehley.
He did, for Christmas.
Later on in life. I can't remember.
I do have it. I do have it.
So, yeah.
Unfortunately, Alex wasn't as lucky to be able to see Ace and Peter play. You did see Peter, though.
Yeah, so unfortunately... I never had the chance to see Ace live ever, even solo. Unfortunately, it never worked out for me. Long story with that. Even though, you know, he was always absolute legend, icon, superhero to me. I'm thankful for all of the music that he had put out over the years, the impact he had on my life. Wish I could have had it happen. I do have a copy of Ace's solo album signed by him. Thankfully, I had a family friend that got to meet him, got it signed, and gifted it to me. So I treasure that record. I was fortunate enough not only to see him with KISS, see all 4 original members, and I'm sorry, Alex, I don't mean to boast in front of you, man. I feel really terrible. I did get to see him solo. My dad took me for my birthday one year.
Him and I saw him at the rave in Milwaukee, and it was such a cool show. It was awesome. I remember seeing him for the first time, and I hadn't seen a recent picture of him. At the time, he had like a goatee, and like when he walked out on stage, everybody was freaking out, and Dad's like, "Oh, there he is, there he is," and I'm like, where's Ace? It's like, it's him with the beard. I'm like, that doesn't look like Ace. I was so confused, like when I saw it or whatever. I think that was about 2008.
So you used to seeing like the Trouble Walking, like
yeah,
Frehley's Comet Ace.
Yeah, the Frehley's Comet Ace. Yeah, that's what I was used to seeing, and it's funny because now it's like, you know, since then he's had the same look up until his passing, of course. And then I did get to meet him too, and actually I do have a little bit of a funny story with meeting Ace. He ended up doing an appearance at a Days of the Dead convention. It was like a horror convention in Chicago one year. Dad and I went. I was bringing my guitar, as you can probably see in the background here. I got Ace Frehley's signature Epiphone guitar, and it's been my dream since I was a child to get this guitar signed by Ace. Now, real quick, this guitar used to belong to my dad. We ended up doing some like negotiating. I ended up getting it. He knew how much it meant to me, and he ended up giving it to me. When I was a kid, I used to play this thing all the time. This was the guitar. Mom and Dad had a bunch of guitars, but this is the guitar that I always grabbed, and this is the guitar that I always wanted to play because it's Ace's guitar, and it looks so cool, and I love the sunburst finish. But anyway, I wanted to get this signed. Trying to be prepared for this convention, I wanted to do as much research into it as possible so that I was prepared and that I could have no flaws going into this convention. So looked up on the website to see how much autographs cost, this, that, and whatever. There was not really any information on it from what I remember. And I remember calling the venue themselves, talking to them to kind of see. I asked them, I'm like, hey, like Ace Frehley's supposed to be here. I just wanted to know like how much his autograph is, this and that, and whatever. You just got to pay for admission, and then you can go in and you don't have to buy any extra tickets or whatever, what have you. So get to the venue. I have this guitar in my hand. We're waiting in line and all this stuff. And then I get pointed to a sign that's hanging on the wall, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that had a list of items on it that Ace would sign and the cost of those items. I'm like, okay, you know, I wasn't expecting this, but at least now I kind of know. Well, on that list, photo ops costed separate too. That wasn't a free thing. So I had to pay, I don't remember, like $60 or something for the photo op. I can't remember, but I was like, oh man, like I only brought like $100 to this convention. So I was a little bummed. So I was going through the list, saw records cost like $30 for a signature. Comic books are like 8.5 by 11 pictures of Ace, you know, cost like $30 or whatever. Toys were like $45 or whatever. And then all the way on the bottom of the list, guitars, $500. And I'm like, holy smokes, I don't have $500. I'm in high school. I don't have that kind of money. So I was so bummed. I was so devastated because I brought this guitar and I couldn't afford that. When we got up to the booth, they had some other items that you can buy. Now, mind you, this was the only item I brought in, so I had to buy something else to get signed also. Luckily, what they had there, it was kind of like a surreal kind of moment in a way. They had a t-shirt from the tour that I saw Ace on. It was the t-shirt from the show that I saw Ace. And I just thought it was the wildest thing in the world. And I'm like, man, I gotta buy that t-shirt because like I remember seeing that t-shirt at the show and I didn't have money then, so I couldn't really get it, and Dad didn't really think it was appropriate enough to buy at the time. So I bought that shirt and I'm like, you know what, I'll get this signed by Ace. So we get up in line. I want to say it's like his manager or the person who's like in charge of getting this signing done and the photo ops done. I had asked him, I'm like, look man, here's the thing. I don't have $500. I can't get this guitar signed. But I was wondering if it'd be all right if like Ace could like hold my guitar at least in the picture, because I thought that would be pretty cool. And luckily, you know, I don't know if it was because I was a kid or, you know, whatever, what have you, they ended up letting that be the thing. So I was pretty excited about that. I didn't get it signed, but at least Ace got to hold it in my picture. And I remember going up to the table and meeting him, and I was just trembling because like I'm meeting my hero, and I was just so starstruck. And, you know, we're talking, and I told him how much of an influence he was to me and this and that, and he didn't really say much. He was pretty quiet, and then he goes to start signing the guitar, and I wasn't going to say anything about it. I was going to let it happen. I'm like, oh, heck yeah. And then the manager's like, oh, no, he just wants you to hold it in the picture. And then like Ace was kind of confused. He's like, oh, okay, all right. So Ace held it, and I sat right next to him. We smiled. He's holding my guitar. Got a pretty cool photo. And then I thanked him very much and shook his hand, and then started to walk away. And he's like, hey guys, hold on a second. So we turn back around, and we walk back up to the table, and he reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out 3 of his guitar picks, and he slides them across the table to each of us. And got that, and I couldn't have been more excited in my life. Honestly, that to me was more special than getting the autograph itself, because I got a guitar pick from my biggest hero in the world. I'm tearing up kind of just thinking about this. A guitar pick from my biggest hero in the entire world was handed to me, and it was one of the greatest moments. I'll never forget that moment. It was awesome. It made the whole experience worth it in the end.
To make a sad story even sadder, I was supposed to go and see Ace finally perform for my first time, and the show was canceled due to Ace having health issues. Also, a month or 2 ago, they announced, and you know this because I messaged you about it,
I know,
that Ace would be at the next Chicago Days of the Dead convention, and I was planning on going to meet him there.
Yeah.
And finally get to meet him, get something signed. Obviously, that's not going to happen.
I'm a little bummed too, because I was actually, now that I'm an adult and I work for money, I was going to actually try to fork up the money it was going to cost to get my guitar signed. But unfortunately, I can't do that. I am very grateful for everything that I've been able to do in my life. The small moment I had with him, and all of the beautiful music that he has given us over the years with his solo albums, the Frehley's Comet records, the KISS records. I am bummed that we didn't end up getting to go, and I think I'm more bummed that you didn't eventually get to meet him, and I'm sorry.
Hey, I appreciate the music. It impacted my life. That's all I gotta say.
Alex, what's your favorite Ace Frehley track? Could be solo track, could be KISS track. What's your favorite Ace track in general?
If I had to pick my favorite Ace track that he wrote, I gotta give it to Cold Gin. Mm-hmm. I mean, going back to that first KISS album, it's gotta be that. If off the cuff, that's what I'm picking.
Yeah.
So
I have to, for me, Shock Me, Rocket Ride, and I love his version of Hide Your Heart.
Oh yeah, Hide Your Heart. I'm
so good.
Yeah, actually, it might be that.
Rock Soldiers is one of my favorite songs too. I know that sounds like a generic pick, but I love that
New
song.
York Groove growing up.
Yeah, and I love New York Groove too. Yeah, his solo record, everything on that is so good. Rip It Out's another banger. That opening track. Oh, it's so good. He has so many songs that are super good.
Trouble Walking.
Oh, that whole album. That first Frehley's Comet record.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
The best. Oh, it's so good. It'd be in my top 10 favorite albums of all time, honestly. Let us know down in the comment section below. Were you a big Ace fan? Or are you a big KISS fan? What's your favorite Ace track? We'd love to hear. And I'd love to hear some of your memories about Ace as well. Though I didn't know him personally, I felt like he was, like a parental figure to me in a way, because this is the guy that got me into music in general, and the reason I picked up a guitar in the first place. And, if it wasn't for him or for KISS, who knows if I would have even picked up a guitar or, been as into music as I am right now, too. It's hard to say, really. All right, my friends. Well, thank you very much for watching this one. Hit that like, comment, and subscribe buttons. You know the drill. Do all that stuff. And Ace, to you up there, thank you so much for everything. I love you very much. And I hope now that you can live peacefully in the beyond. And, yeah, We'll see you guys next time.
See you.
See yous.
It's just funny because you're like, oh man, you know, I'd like to get him to sign my guitar, and I'm like, I'd like to get to meet him. What's up, man?